The last question that I wanted to ask about platforms is how you view the two candidates' platforms as far as global politics are concerned, going forward this new Cold War with China, Russia, Israel, and Palestine.
I see no significant break, which is what has to happen. So I am very disappointed. I recognize that Mr. Trump looks like he'd pull the plug on the Ukraine war, end it, basically by stopping the flow of, or constricting the flow of money and weapons to this regime in Ukraine. So, and that war is horrific, and the sooner that war is over, the happier I will be. Other than that, I think Kamala Harris seems to be going out of her way to say that she's a supporter of Mr. Biden. She does have the awkward situation that she is the vice president and has not, in any way that I'm aware of, opposed what he's done, and seems to go out of her way to suggest that she is loyal to all of that. So at this point, that's what I see. And I'm very worried, frankly, because there isn't, in my judgment, there is no hope for the Ukrainians under Mr. Zelensky, other than drawing the United States and Europe into that war. If it is left to the way it has been for 2.5 years now, a war between Ukraine and Russia, Ukraine supported by the West, Russia more or less on its own, Russia wins, Ukraine loses. That is what's been going on, with a very short exception, for the whole war. And it's now more than ever. Only if the United States comes in a massive way could that be, and no guarantee, but that could, then there's a chance. And fundamentally, I believe the same is true for Israel. Israel is a small country. It is surrounded by a much larger population of Arab people, and behind them an even larger population of Islamic people, all of whom see Israel as an affront one way or another. All of them are on the side of the Palestinians in that struggle. Now the struggle is widened, which I understand why that happened. It now includes Yemen, Lebanon, and possibly Iran as well. And the Israelis' only hope in such a struggle is if they bring the United States in and Western Europe. Same problem as Mr. Zelensky. And fundamentally, I don't think the American people give a damn about either Ukraine or Israel enough to run the risks that all of that takes. Now, the enemy is not a little poor country like Afghanistan was, or a little poor country like Iraq. It's Russia and China with nuclear weapons. Who in America wants to risk what that means for Ukraine or even for Israel? So I don't think it looks real good, and I know it has to be worked out, and keeping it at the highest levels of secret government is very unhealthy, because it means that if the outcome is a mess and bad, which it clearly could be, then you're going to have a mass of people very angry at whoever in the secret government made whatever the decisions were. Be much better to have the whole country involved. Then we all have to live with what we really, as a consensus, decided to do. So for me, it's not that you have democratic decision-making out of a moral commitment to democracy. It would be nice if you had that. I have it. I would like others to have it. But just for preservation, be wiser to make this a general conversation, not just a knee-jerk reaction to a Cold War that's over. And that applies in its way to Ukraine, but very similarly to Israel. To me, these look like desperate wars of people upon whom the walls were closing, and they had to do something, and Russia felt endangered by NATO moving. I still don't understand. Just between you and me, why? Why move NATO? What was the point? Russia collapsed. Your big enemy, Russia, isn't your big enemy. If you know the history, you'll know that for a little while, even Mr. Putin was discussing joining NATO.
Really?
Yes. But he wasn't the only one there. They were thinking of doing that because the rationale was gone. So why are you doing this? It's the savage other. If you don't have the Soviet Union, where's your savage? Ah, terrorists. When you don't have them anymore, China, or now Russia. You make Putin into another Stalin. Putin, half of whose support is the Russian Orthodox Church. I mean, it's childish. But if you're desperate, if you can make immigrants the problem, then you can make Putin the devil. These are similar moves. They are made to solve a problem.